Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be featuring Umbreon, Muk, and Machamp. This is in the Great League, so most of these are obtainable. The Umbreon is probably the hardest one to do because you need to walk 10 kilometers and evolve it. So here we kind of have a neutral matchup. The way we have set up this team currently is sort of a ABA team. So we're going to play this out and see what happens. We either are going to barely lose this matchup here, and we're going to be able to get some farm with either Machamp or Muk, or we're going to win this lead, depending on if we get the debuff or not. And if we do happen to get the debuff on our Umbreon, so we are probably going to lose this barely. But still, this Umbreon can whittle this Registeel down quite a bit. It's going to be able to get to another foul play here. So even though we are getting debuff and we're probably going to lose this lead, we are going to be able to get some farm with either, like I said, Machamp or a Muk, depending on how much health is left. So this is most likely a Focus Blast. And there you go. Actually, it was a good play by my opponent on using the Zap Cannon and then Focus Blast, because you need 2 charge moves to take down that Umbreon anyway. So nice job by my opponent here. Here we anticipate them switching out, and they do it, and then we counter swap, and then they counter swap. It ends up being this Shadow Muk versus their Shadow Ninetales. This matchup here, you can tell, is very, very fragile. Both of us are very careful on when we are throwing our charge moves. Right there, we throw one fast move, and then we throw the move to charge move for most optimal timing. And then here, once again, we're going to be throwing one fast move, and then we decided to throw our charge move. This is going to ensure that they get minimal free moves. Here, we're just deciding we're just going to double shield just like them. Obviously, we need to see this. We need to see this Shadow Muk versus their Charmer, and we're going to be able to throw this Thunder Punch here as soon as possible, because these poison jabs are actually going to add up quite a bit versus this Shadow Gramble too. So look at this. This Gramble is already down, and fortunately for us, we are able to get to a Rock Slide before they get to their own charge move. So this team here played out exactly how I intended. We either barely lose the front, or we win the lead, and then we kind of get a little energy advantage towards the back. So GG's to our opponent right there. On to the next game. This Shadow Muk is very, very useful as a switch, because regardless of what you see, you're going to be able to do at least some damage towards whatever is in the back. Here, obviously, is a really, really bad lead here, but like we said, we are running an ABA lineup here, so we have to stay in, because we don't want to switch into our Shadow Muk and then have our only hard counter to this Charmer being countered. So we're just going to bite the bullet here. We do get a shield from them, so that is really good. We're trying to get to another last resort here. Unfortunately, we don't. The chip foul play there would have been okay. So unfortunately, we didn't even get that chip damage off. So here, we let the first one go. They decided to switch into their Umbreon. So they're so far running the Shadow Gramble with the Umbreon. That's going to be a pretty common pair, because they have 2 things good against the Muk. It looks like it. So we're going to be able to throw these cross chops here versus this Umbreon that are going to be super effective. We're going to try our best to farm down here. It's looking like we're not going to be able to, so we are going to invest a shield here, even though they're probably going to come in with their Shadow Gramble after this. We do have a Rock Slide that we can throw here. Let's see if they end up shielding. And they let it go. They probably have 2 things good to this. Okay, they actually let it go. Oh, interesting. And then we see a Alomomola. This is gonna take some neutral damage with this cross chop here. It doesn't do enough damage, unfortunately, because this Muk is Shadow, and this Alomomola is actually pretty tanky. So GG's to our opponent right here. They ended up having the exact right counters to our entire team. Here, we're going to try to do our best to get to 2 Thunder Punches. I still don't think if we got to 2 Thunder Punches, because they have a shield, I don't think they would have taken it out. Just unfortunately, we get fast move down there, but I don't even think that Thunder Punch would have taken out. That fish is pretty tanky, so GG's to our opponent right there. Not much I could have done differently there. Maybe if I would have anticipated that there was Umbreon and the Alomomola back there, I could have switched out earlier, but kind of a team that we didn't have a lot of play with. So here we go. Next game here. This is a fantastic lead. They're going to switch out. We have the ideal counter for this. But we have to be careful here because the fact that they're switching out and the Cofagrigus is really good against this Machamp. So we're kind of just playing it by ear here. We actually tank this Body Slam here. And they have double. So they have double. And we actually are okay with that situation because as long as the Machamp doesn't get farmed or it just isn't going to get taken advantage, we have the Umbreon and we have the Muk to sort of counter the Cofagrigus. Okay, so here we do get lucky. We ended up coming in with our Muk here, and if we had gone back in with our friend Pokemon with the Umbreon, this would have been absolutely deleted. So we had the perfect alignment, and we just happened to get the backline correct. So GG's to our opponent right there. A little bit of lucky pick back there, but we figured that they wouldn't come in with their Cofagrigus because we already shown the Umbreon. So we just had a hard counter to their team, basically. All right, next game here, where we have to do a little bit better job of like managing Gramble if we do see it. Fortunately, we don't see Gramble. The reason I said that because I was seeing a lot of Gramble around this time. But we have a great lead again, and then we counter swap into our Machamp. It is meant by the Registeel here, so it is a positive matchup here, and we're thinking about the same situation. Do we allow this Machamp to go down, or do we maintain alignment? Because the Cofagrigus is going to be able to, take advantage of this Machamp really well here. Fortunately, we don't have to make that decision because we are able to farm down that Registeel, and this Machamp is barely left alive with a sliver of health. This Rock Slide just does a little bit of damage here, and we have the hard counter to this Cofagrigus, which is the Umbreon. And GG's to our opponent right there. They decided that they've had enough of that matchup because the Umbreon is a huge hard counter to that Cofagrigus. So a couple of ways that I've been playing that is, when they switch into their counter to the Umbreon, you gotta decide, is it worth kind of actually just sacrificing your switching because they're probably trying to farm down your counter. So here we go again, this Gramble situation. Last time we faced this, we learned two things. We are only going to be able to get to one last resort if we get this last resort off. So we do get this last resort off. That means that we only have time to get to the foul play. We're not going to be able to get to a last resort. And indeed, that's going to be the case because these Shadow Charms from this Gramble are doing huge damage. Let's see if our opponent decides to shield. Do they shield? They do shield right there. And fortunately for us, we do have a hard counter to this Shadow Gramble. We're going to shield this Crunch here because we kind of want to keep this Shadow Muk healthy. Unfortunately, we get the debuff, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But let's see what they have in the back here. If they have a hard counter to the Shadow Muk, obviously we're going to switch. Okay, we decided to switch out here just so that we can clear the debuff on the Shadow Muk, but also we want to kind of take down this Haxorus as soon as possible. Let's see if they end up shielding it. We do get the debuff, unfortunately. This debuff is going to help this Haxorus stay alive a little bit longer. So this Haxorus is fragile, but it does get to those breaking swipes to debuff quite quickly. This is probably going to be another breaking swipe. We're debating whether we shield. We don't shield here. And at this point, this is a little bit unfortunate. This is going to be one of these backlines where we can't really wiggle our way out of it. Like maybe if we had shielded and then trying to waste the time and try to, I don't know, go back in with that Machamp or something. But this is looking like a GG's here, unfortunately. Maybe if they like switched out unnecessarily here. Maybe we can like do something with it, but this Umbreon just way too bulky. So yeah, good games to our opponent right here. This is a interesting team. The Shadow Muk is probably the hardest team to obtain, but let us know if you enjoy this team, and let us know if you enjoy the video.